At some point every evening, your yard just stops. Cardinals at the feeder, titmice moving through the branches, a robin searching for berries and seeds, and then in about 20 minutes, everyone's gone. The feeders are vacant. The branches are still. Where did everybody go? Most people figure the birds are just somewhere else in the neighborhood, maybe sitting in trees doing bird stuff. The reality is much weirder than that. What your backyard birds do between dusk and dawn is one of the most extraordinary parts of their lives. Tonight, in the dark, the birds in your yard will do things that would stop you cold if you could see them. Some will cool themselves by several degrees just to survive the night. Others will pack themselves into spaces you wouldn't think one bird could fit into, let alone several. And some of the ones you think of as your yard birds won't be in your yard at all. They'll be thousands of feet above your house, flying in complete darkness. Stay till the end, because the last thing we cover happens directly above your roof on certain nights every spring and fall, and the scale of it is truly amazing. Where your birds actually go when the sun sets. The Carolina chickadee and other chickadees have a solution to cold nights that sounds like something out of science fiction. On nights that get below freezing, chickadees enter regulated hypothermia. They deliberately lower their body temperature by up to 22 degrees Fahrenheit below normal. Their metabolism slows. Their heart rate drops. They're not fully asleep. It's more like they're carefully, precisely not dead. A chickadee weighs about as much as 2 pennies. Without this trick, a single cold night could kill it. With it, the bird survives temperatures that would delete an animal that size in hours. Where does it do this? In a cavity. This could be an old woodpecker hole, a gap in the bark, or a nest box. The walls trap the bird's body heat. The whole setup is a tiny, feathered, self-regulating survival pod. The tufted titmouse takes a lower-tech approach. In the hour before sunset, a titmouse moves to the densest vegetation it can find. This could be a shrub, a thicket, or a tangle of vines close to where it spent the day. It hides here not for warmth, but for concealment. A sleeping bird is a vulnerable bird. Dense cover is the closest thing to invisibility available. It'll use the same roost site night after night for weeks. If you got a thick holly bush or a dense hedge, there's a decent chance something has been sleeping in it every night without you knowing it. The communal roost, when territorial birds suddenly stop caring about their personal space. The eastern bluebird spends the breeding season aggressively defending its territory. A male will not tolerate another male within 30 feet of his nest box. Come winter, that same bird will squeeze into a box with up to a dozen other bluebirds. They'll press up against each other to stay warm. The territorial rules no longer matter. Shared body heat beats personal space when the other option is to freeze to death. Researchers have documented nest boxes containing 12 to 15 bluebirds on a single cold night. The white-breasted nuthatch pulls something similar. They're fiercely territorial by day, but in winter they'll sometimes roost together in warm cavities. The calculation is the same. Cold math overrides social preference. What this means practically, the nest boxes and dead shrubs you maintain aren't just breeding locations. On the coldest nights of winter, they're the difference between birds that make it and those who disappear forever. They're not fully asleep. They're watching. Here's something that should make you slightly uncomfortable the next time you look out at your dark, quiet yard. It's not empty. The birds in it are paying more attention to the night than you are. Many birds use what researchers call unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. One hemisphere of the brain sleeps while the other stays alert. The corresponding eye stays open and scanning. The sides trade off so both get rest, but the bird is never fully unconscious. Cornell Lab of Ornithology researchers documented this in mallard ducks. They found that birds sleeping at the edge of a group kept the outward-facing eye open, while birds in the center slept with both eyes closed. This distributes vigilance across the whole flock. The same principle applies in your yard. The great horned owl calling from the oak at 10 p.m. is being heard by every roosting bird within range. An alarm call from a robin flushed by a cat at midnight spreads to sleeping chickadees nearby. The nighttime yard has a sensory network running through it, even when it looks completely offline. The birds you didn't know were active at night. The American robin is famous for being the first bird singing before dawn. What's less known is that in lit suburban yards, robins will start singing hours before dawn. Sometimes they even sing at 1 or 2 in the morning. This is because artificial light triggers the same hormonal response as natural sunrise. If you've ever heard birdsong at midnight and wondered what was wrong with it, it was almost certainly a robin that got fooled by a streetlight. The mourning dove, meanwhile, looks like it's barely conscious during the day. It's slow-moving, unhurried, and seemingly unaware that anything is happening around it. But a dove will launch into fast flight in complete darkness if a predator approaches. The wing whistle produced when it does so isn't accidental. This sound is a signal that alerts other doves to danger even when they can't see each other. What's flying over your house right now? Twice a year, the night sky above your house fills with birds. Not just a few dozen either. On peak migration nights in late April and early May, and again in September and October, the number of birds crossing a single point in the eastern U.S. in one night can reach into the millions. The Baltimore Oriole that shows up at your yard in summer left last October and has been in Central America since. In late April, it's flying north at night above your house. The ruby-throated hummingbird that will arrive at your feeder in May crossed the Gulf of Mexico to get there. That is a 500-mile non-stop flight. During it, the birds burn fat at a rate equivalent to a person running back-to-back marathons. Birdcast, Cornell Labs' free migration monitoring tool, tracks his in real time using weather radar. On a peak night, the radar image of the eastern U.S. looks like a giant weather system moving north. It's not rain, it's birds. They amount to enough biological mass to cause radar signals that meteorologists had to learn how to tell apart from weather systems. This is happening above your house every migration season. The yard goes quiet at dusk. The feeders go vacant. The branches go still, but what you're looking at isn't absence, it's concealment. The titmouse is in your holly bush. The chickadee is in the hole in the oak. Its body temperature is dropping. Its metabolism is dialed back to the minimum needed to make it to morning. And in the right season, birds are flying overhead by the thousands. You've been living next to this for years. Now you know what's actually going on out there. That's all for now. Subscribe to learn more.